Today I'm sharing my favorite Adobe Express features for making graphics and videos for your craft projects and business efforts. This content is sponsored by the team at Adobe. Now, I tried Canva and you probably did too. In fact, trying to do all the things, whether that's for your crafty projects like your stickers and your t-shirts you want to make, or graphic design for your social media, for your business, or maybe things for your website or things you're going to print that you use in your business. Maybe you've been using a lot of different tools. That was me. I was using 5, 6, 7, 8 different tools. It was way too much. Too much money on all these different tools that did some of the same things, but not all the things. Too much time switching from tool to tool to tool. What is my password? Like trying to remember all those things. It was way too much. I couldn't find what I needed. Did I create that project in this software or this other software over here? I couldn't share with everybody on my team or with other people because they also needed to have an account, and that was too tricky. I'd have to upload my logos all over these different places. I ended up having to store my logos online, so yet I had to pay for another tool to keep the logos. Oh my gosh, right? Is it the same for you? Well, I have the solution and I'll be dropping the link to that below very soon. And this is why I'm sharing Adobe Express with you today. Now, you may have heard me talking about Express before, and here's why I love it. It's the one tool that does it all, from PDFs to graphics to printables to videos. You can do everything for your online and creative graphics in one spot. That's right, no more logging in and out of different places, remembering 1,800 different passwords. And you're gonna save hours of editing graphics and videos. With Adobe Express, you can do everything all in one project. I'm gonna show you guys how to do this, okay? So you can do it all in one project in one place. There's no more making the project like your pin image, and then now you gotta make a copy of that and resize it for Instagram so it's square, and then you need to make a copy of that and make your YouTube graphic, and you need to make a copy of that and make it for your blog post, and now you're looking for these files that are titled copy of copy of copy of copy. How many of you have ever done that? Like, I've totally done that, and I totally know that you know what I'm talking about. So imagine that you had one project file with all the sizes in it. Let's say you're making a craft project and you are gonna make the same printed image for a coffee mug and for a t-shirt and for a poster on the wall. In other programs, you would need to do that, like in Canva, you would need to create 3 separate projects, one for each different size. You don't have to do that in Adobe Express. You can do it where you see it all at once, all the different graphics together, all in one place. So good, right? If you're making, like, I think of so many use cases for this, like making wedding printables. I just got the most beautiful wedding invitation from a friend of mine. She's getting married next month. And there was, one size of card for the RSVP, one size of graphic for the actual wedding invitation, another size of graphic for the registry information. I think I got like 5 or 6 different sizes of paper inside this one envelope. And she did it herself. It's totally a DIY job, which is awesome. I absolutely love that. Like, DIY is the way to go. You guys know I love DIY, and you do too, because that's why you're here watching this channel. And what's really cool about that is her doing that. I know that she used Canva, and that means that she had to make 5 different projects and flip inside of one and out of another, and out of one and out of another. You could do all that in one project in Adobe Express and see it all together. Imagine what you could do with your party invites, with your printables that you're selling, with anything that you're doing, all in one size. And if you are creating graphics for a client or a boss, you can make sure everything all looks good by sending them one project file that they're going to look at, and they can once over it. It's going to save them time too, and it's going to make you look really good. And I'm going to explain what this is and how to do it. So don't worry, hang out at the video. On this video, I am going to make sure you have everything that you need to make this happen for you. I'm going to show you how to do it with Adobe Express. You can also create original art without knowing how to draw. How many of you have tried to draw things and failed at it? I have. I bought an iPad thinking that I could do this myself, and it just hasn't happened. So I pretty much suck at drawing, and that's okay. Sometimes I wish that I had an artist at my side and I could just be like, draw this or make this. Like, I want to design t-shirts for my merch store, for my print on demand shops, and I have to do what everybody else is doing. go buy stock images. Well, then my stuff looks like everybody else's. So wouldn't it be awesome if you had a way to create custom drawings just by saying, draw me a picture of a tamale on a plate that looks really appetizing, that's a line drawing, and then it would do it for you? Well, that's what generative AI does on Adobe Express. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now, I saw something the other day kind of related to this about NFTs that I remember back when someone I knew was talking about NFTs, and they were saying like, oh yeah, it's the future and you can use it to make your own t-shirts and stuff. And I think they're worth like absolutely nothing now. So don't buy NFTs. Nobody's doing that anymore. All you need to do is get Adobe Express and you can generate with their generative AI, generate your own art. And I'm going to show you how fast and easy that is and what you can do with it. So stick around. They say for every 8 minutes of video you shoot, it's 1 hour to edit. Ouch, that is a lot of time. So I've tried to edit on my phone inside the social media apps and they crash. How many of you have had Instagram eat your video? Like I've had it do that more times than I can count. It is so frustrating because you spend all this time trying to edit. You can't even put your logo on it in there and then it crashes and it doesn't even save it. Then I tried Canva. It's not very intuitive, their video editing, because Canva, that's not their gig, right? They're not a video editing tool. Adobe knows video. So it makes sense that they do video on the expert level inside of Adobe Express. And it's so flippin' easy to do. So you ready to see what Adobe Express can do? Awesome. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna get going. Here we are inside of Adobe Express. And when you open up, right across the top, you can see all of these different options for whatever you want to make, different project sizes, depending on whether you're making a social media video or some graphics for an Instagram story, etc. As you scroll down, you can see generative AI, templates, etc. So we're going to start with a graphic. So we're just going to roll over the top of whichever one we decide to choose. And we're going to click on Create from Scratch. And this is going to create an Instagram post for us, a square 1080 by 1080 like blank page for us to work on. Now we can also grab the templates from here if you decide, oh, I really wanted to use a template, and we can use that and it'll auto populate. So I'm going to find a template that I like and just click on it to drop it into my project right here. So you can see it's a square graphic. I've got, a title. I can edit that just like I normally would edit that here in Adobe Express. And I can change it. I can change the fonts and do all those fun normal things that we would do in a graphics editing program. But here's what I want you to see about creating a new size. See that part where up on the top, I kind of moused over it. It has the number 1 in the stacked pages. It says view all pages. So when you click on that, it will allow you to open up all of the pages. And there are a couple of different ways you can add extra pages. You can duplicate the page up here on the left, and that will make a copy of it. You can click add a new page up there on the left, and on the right side, you can click the plus sign button to add a new page. Now what that's going to do is it's going to add a new page the same size, but it's not going to have any of the graphics in it. So if I click the add a page button at the top, I can choose same size or custom size. From there, I can adjust the pixels, or I can change that from the drop down menu to inches or whatever measurement I want. So here I changed this to be an Instagram story size, right? I think it was 1920 by 1080. Now I can add another one and I can make it to be the size of a Pinterest pin. So I'm doing 1000 by 1700, a little bit of a longer pin. You could do 1000 by 1500 for a standard pin. And you can see I have all these different size graphics in the one project. This makes it really, really easy to edit and change things around. And then I can go and find templates for those specific different size items in the project as well. Now let's say I want to take that Instagram post and resize that. I'll go back to the pages, go duplicate the page, and click on the actual item and open it up, open that new page. And from there I can resize it. So here on the left, I can change the pixels, and I also can scroll down and choose from all different types of sizes of graphics down there underneath where I can enter the pixels on that left-hand column. I can click that resize button to do that. So you see there's so many options here of how you can resize it, and it will do this automatically. So once I've resized it, I may need to adjust a couple graphics, but it's pretty well done. I don't have to do very much at all. I'm just going to make that green go all the way down. I'll move the whole yummy thing up to the top a little bit so it looks a little bit more like a pin, but very, very quick and easy to do that editing. And when I click that pages icon on the upper right, again, you can see all the pages. You can see how cohesive that is. I can see everything all together. Now we're going to be working with generative AI. And what I love about Adobe Express and generative AI is when you log in, right here up at the top, you can use the text to image feature to generate your image. On a lot of other programs, this is buried. You've got to go and add in extra apps. You've got to go find a hidden button somewhere. Adobe puts it right up at the top so that you can find it and easily get started creating. And as you mouse over these other examples here, that'll give you some ideas of the type of text that you can put into the generative AI to create your image. Now I'm going to grab some text that I've already used to create this cabin image that I want to make. Now, once I've checked over my text, I can click the generate button and Adobe goes to work on my behalf, Adobe Express. So if you notice here, it's generating. I can choose a different content type from photo or art to have it look a little bit different. So it will generate 4 different options for you down below. So once it's done, there we go. It'll start to show one of the options and then you can click any of the other 3 to see which one you like the best. And if I want to change the way that this looks, I can ask it to do something different. So I'll go back up and I can edit the text and give it new instructions to see what it does so that it gets something closer to what I actually have as the picture in my mind. What's great about this is you don't have to start over. You can just adjust it within the actual project you're working on right now. And it's so responsive that it will regenerate a new set of images based on these new instructions that you've given it. So again, you click generate, and now I'm going to get a whole new set of images based on the new instructions that I've typed in. So see, these are a lot more along the line of what I was looking for, and it looks like a photo. It looks really realistic. So very, very cool. You could use this for creating graphics or creating flyers or that kind of thing. Now, say that you want to do something a little different within the same project, you can go ahead and type something new. So I've got cool looking cat with sunglasses holding a margarita glass with a lime. So I could say a slice of lime. I could have got a little bit more specific with that, but let's see what it does. So it's got this really fun, cool cat, and they're all just so very fun. They have different personalities. So very, very cool. So you can see the possibilities here for creating things that are absolutely custom to you. And we could keep giving new instructions to continue refining this. Like maybe I don't want a gray cat. Maybe I want it to be an orange kitty. Now let's talk about using Adobe Express to edit video. So right here, when you open Adobe Express, you have the options there to either create a video up at the top or choose a template for a specific platform. So I'm going to choose TikTok video, and I'm going to choose one of their templates. So again, you can create from scratch or choose a template. I'm going to click on one that I like over here on the column on the left and just drop that in there, and it already drops everything in there, the graphics, all of the text with all of the timing, and you can drag that player head through so that you can see what it has. So I've got some images in there, I've got text. Cannot do this inside of the editor on those platforms. There's no way, but you can do this inside of Adobe Express. So if I click on the text and I click on show layer, down on the bottom, there's that little toggle. I can actually see all the layers. I can click on each layer. I can edit them. I can change the text. I can change the font on the text. I can use the fonts that are in my brand library. I can click the drop down here and I've got all these different fonts to use. To change the font, I just highlight the text and I choose the font I want from the drop down menu on the left, so I can change that there. The other thing that you can change is the timing of the words and how they show. So you just drag those toggles on either end of the text and you can have it show up, fade in and fade out on the screen and display on the screen in different ways just by toggling. Now you can do this inside of the Instagram editor, but it's really, really hard, and this is a much better, more precise way of doing that. So very, very cool. You can also drag the toggles on the ends of the video to adjust those. You can delete parts of the video if that's something you want to do as well. Now, what about creating a video from scratch? So again, you'll choose the type and you'll click create from scratch. So I chose TikTok, and I'm going to use some of the stock video that's here inside of my Adobe Express account. So I've got this fun little dog. I'm going to move the playhead and see where do I want to stop this clip, because I don't quite want that much video of this dog. So I can then drag the ends of the video to make it shorter or longer, depending on, how long this file is completely. I can also put my own video in there, so I can upload my own content to add here as well. What I like about this is you can see how big this video is. It's that regular 9:16, but it's being cropped for TikTok, so I can drag it back and forth to get to the actual part of the video that I want to be showing very easily. It's very intuitive, right? I just click and drag. I can drag that playhead where I want it, and then use those toggles to drag to where I want the video to stop. And again, if my person's off the screen too much, I can drag that around if I need that, or change the toggle. You can also add text. So there's prefab text where it's all laid out for you, or you can create your own. So I'm going to use one of these that's already laid out for me. I'll double click on it so I can open up the layers. There's 2 layers in this, and then double click on each layer and I can change the text. I can type something new. So I'm going to change it to rolling into 2024. So I'm going to have 2024 on there. And then I want to move each piece because I want them to be next to each other. So here I've moved one piece, I didn't move the other one, so I'm going to double click it again so I can move both and then make that 2024 big. And now I want to control where it's going to display. So I'm going to click that show layers down there at the bottom. That little toggle, I want to do show layer timing. So now I can adjust the timing of the layers so that it shows exactly when I want it to show. So if I click play from the beginning, I've got my little dog on the skateboard, which is kind of fun. And then I'm going to say rolling into 2024. Do you see how they display at different times? Really, really cool. And you can do all of this inside of Adobe Express. I absolutely love what you can do with Adobe Express. Now, if you want to get Adobe Express for yourself and you have not yet clicked that link down at the bottom of this video, what are you waiting for? Now, what questions do you have?